This is something that I promised you guys I was going to talk to you before, and this is based on my experience on the month of September, which was probably one of the hardest months I ever lived in my life. Not only because we are in this terrible year of 2020, completely surrounded by a virus and crazy people and hatred and so many other things, violence, so many other things on our daily lives, but also I got to experience very close hand the death of my father. And taking care of my father in his last days made me realize that I had death completely wrong in my head. We always think that death is that ugly skeleton coming like the Reaper, coming to take your loved ones away, take your life away. And then I realized that's not exactly how it is. So I'm going to share with you my perspective on death, and I'm going to read to you a blog that I wrote for the website, and maybe I'm going to explain a little bit of what I mean with what I'm writing in here. And then from the moment that we are born, we're destined to die. Every day we live and we get closer and closer toward death. You know, nobody will escape from death's arms. Everything has a cycle and nothing lasts forever. No good things, no bad things, nothing lasts forever. And so while attending my very ill and delirious father, I found myself face to face with death. And the time that I was there with my dad, death showed her face at least 3 times. And her presence was very, very powerful. And you could feel it. I got anxiety when I felt it. Very dense energy. It was so real, which is so real. Death is such a real thing. It is such a powerful energy. It's like a vortex. You enter this vortex. It's like almost if you were inside a tornado. Inside in that calm, inside the eye of a tornado, inside the eye of a hurricane. And then my heart was fluttering and it would skip beats, like really high anxiety when I felt death around me. Such a powerful force. And so she came in and out of the house and I felt her. And every time we thought our dad, okay, this is it, our dad is dying, you felt her. You literally, the hairs of your skin will stand up. It felt like total energy, electricity around you. And then in those 3 times that I felt death, it occurred to me this one thing, that death is very respectful, guys. And she takes you when you agree to it. When you finally surrender. She is the ultimate psychopomp. You know, she's the one that comes and take you by your hand and help you go through the threshold. And for ages, I think that death has been mistaken. And I honestly think that she's a precious psychopomp. And then this psychopomp is noble. She's righteous, a soul companion. She's the ultimate guide, and she's merciful. And I can't help but to think that she whispers in your ear, "My darling, are you ready?" I can't help but to think that she caresses your head and lets you know that she's there for you, full of compassion and unconditional love. I can't help but to think that she has mighty wings that she expands to nestle you in. And I truly feel this. And death. Oh, let's talk about death. Death, guys, is mundane. Disrespectful, rude. It corrupts, it transforms and reshapes with her distaste. It is the oxygen in your lungs dissipating. Your last exhale, my father fighting to breathe with his oxygen machine. Is the dissolution and discoloring of your flesh. My father that always looked to me like Santa Claus became yellow. Yellow. How rude you are. You're nasty, death. How dare you take away the image of a person and leave a ghastly creature instead. A yellow creature. Bony death. Again, I always look at my father like if it was Santa Claus, because he was chunky. He was chubby and really red cheeks. And in those last days, do you know what death did to him? It turned him yellow and bony. Your loved ones become a skeleton in front of you. I dislike so much your vulgar touch, death. You blind eyes and make them unable to see loved ones around you. My father used to open his eyes and he was lost. His stare was gone. His eyes were empty. And even though his eyes were open, he could not see all of us around him, loving him, kissing him. He could not see anything. Death, you're despicable. You are the devouring deafness, disabling the last chance to hear words of comfort. And a loved one, a favorite song, prayers and chants. We were around him, we talked to our dad, told him how much we love him. Yet still he was in that fight with death, with that ugly creature. You're so despicable, death. I hate you so. And this is what I think about all these witches. As living creatures on this planet, we almost go through this destructive process. And this is the great question that keeps running in the back of my head. Why is this process so degrading? My father was a man of God. My father had fear for God. My father was a loyal Christian. So maybe it's because, after all, we have been cruel to Mother Earth. No matter how good we are, we still corrupt. Maybe because we're ultimately evil to our fellow humans and all the living creatures we share this planet with. And maybe the good ones paid for the bad ones. Or maybe because we must go through this, the ultimate humbling test in this life. The corruption of everything we hold sacred. A mistake that is only through the process of dying we realize, because we have been arrogant and entitled. We're the most arrogant creatures on this planet. But our souls, guys, our soul is made holy. Our soul is pure perfection that endures time and space. It transcends. And it is at last when we realize we need to go back to our basics and start all over. In a different time, in a different space, a different body, a brand new chance. White Raven over here, witches. Stay wicked.